Hello traders, today is Saturday, October 12th, 2024. I just want to remind you, this content is for educational purposes. This is not financial advice. If you are thinking about risking your capital in any type of investments, I strongly suggest you to do your own due diligence and research. That being said, let's start the video with AFRM. And been mentioning AFRM for quite a while. My thesis in this area was, and we were going to go down, considering that we were pretty extended on this area, and we were going to fill this gap. Well, we partially filled the gap. Then we recovered right at support at 35.6. We went up towards 47, almost 48, and then we came down again towards this area. Then you form this little almost double bottom, and I'm saying almost because we're still not breaking the neckline. But yesterday we had a pretty impressive move, very consistent throughout the day, of 12%. The whole trading session was pretty solid, and then you got rejected on the retest on this area on the 5-minute chart, and then you kind of went down over the 35 SMA. But then, you know, considering how this move was, I'm not surprised, and there was some profit taking in this area. All that being said, I do believe that considering how we are looking at the MACD and the TSI and also the RSI, there might be some juice to continue going towards 52. I think that is the next level that I have. Let's take a look. Yeah, 51.7. So we'll see how that develops. But one of the things that I was saying yesterday, I believe, was that would be great to see a consolidation between 42 and 39. But in reality, what happened, obviously, we had this 14% move, and then it went down to 12%. And then now I think we can safely say that we could expect a range that would be fantastic between 47 and 45. I do believe that we have definitely room to go to 52. Another thing that happened, which triggered some of this move, was a firm got revised by some analysts. I think it was a third time this week. So definitely there is bullish momentum coming in. Nothing right here tells me that we're overextended at all at this point, at least. So we can definitely see a nice move towards 52 and maybe higher, so some of the price targets are in in the 60s and whatnot for these analysts, which in some cases doesn't mean a lot considering who, depending who the analyst is. But in any case, the market definitely had a very positive reaction to these new price targets for a firm. So there's definitely momentum. I do believe that if we mount 57, then we're gonna be way well on our way towards 52. Keep an eye on a firm. It's been trading quite interestingly lately. We had this run. So 52 seems to be a pretty strong resistance level. We'll see if we break 47 first, and then we can start really thinking or talking about 52. That's what I have for a firm. Now let's move on to another interesting name, and that would be AMD. So let me put a little note on this. Okay. We did have on the AI event a very nasty sell-off. Was down almost 4%, 5% at one point, but then you're bouncing on the 200 SMA, which is this yellow line right here. I think it's yellow. I'm colorblind, so if it's yellow or orange, forgive me. But anyways, and then you also are bouncing on 61, which is a pretty strong level, which was support and resistance several times. Now it's playing a support. We are right on resistance at 170. Let's take a look at a 5-minute time frame. You almost hit that level, and then you actually came down towards the end of the day. I think a lot of this reaction happened simultaneously in a lot of different names, that you had a very nice run throughout the day, and then you had a sell-off towards the closing. Anyways, I do think that if we break 170 at this point, we're definitely going to continue towards 187. There is nothing really here that indicates any sort of resistance, maybe 75, 74.5. We can argue if we see this. So I'm just going to put that here just as reference on this level. Yeah, you know what? It makes more sense on this level right here. So yeah, it actually paints this. So 174, 175, we'll see how we get. We have to break 170 first, and then we can start talking about this new level that I put here, 175. MACD and TSI are not looking the best, to be honest. RSI is already moving up, but we still need to see more momentum coming in. But anyways, on Friday, definitely you had to come back. 2.26% to the upside, as you can see here. So I think there's going to continue. This whole sector, to be honest, still moving very strong. So AMD is still is one of those leading brands for in the sector. So I do believe that for next week we might have a continuation towards 170 and 174, 175. Okay, that's what I have for AMD. Let's move on to, where is it? Amazon. And been mentioning Amazon quite often, but as I told you, my resistance, or I guess my bottom, at least for this move, my bottom target was 181. We went down to 180 or 179 or something, 180. And now we are touching 190. We're a little bit under 190. Let's go take a look at the 5-minute chart, and you had this reaction right here, and then you moved on a little bit of a sell-off towards the end of the session. We'll see what we get next week, but I have definitely, well, first off, I have a position on Amazon, which are calls for January, and they're doing well. I bought them, I think, on this candle right here, which was Wednesday, either Tuesday or Wednesday. I bought somewhere around here. Probably Tuesday or Wednesday because we were mounting the 35 SMA. Anyways, we are right under resistance. If we break 190, we're definitely going to move towards 195, and then we can be possible. Then we go towards 200. Interesting. Keep an eye on Amazon. It's looking good. MACD, TSI, they're starting to curl to the upside, about to cross their signal lines as well. And the RSI already crossed the signal line, so that's also good. Let's move on to. I want to cover Bitcoin, and I guess we're still stuck on the 200 SMA. Oh, did I click on Bitcoin? No, I didn't. I was on the wrong screen. So we still have to break the 200 SMA. I don't think we can really celebrate any bullish momentum if we don't break this with volume. We did have this break right here, but then the subsequent moves were very weak, and then you came down towards the 35 SMA. We are basically in the same situation here. MACD and TSI at this point are starting to point back up again, which is a good thing. But I would love to see a little bit more momentum coming in. This candle, by the time I was looking at Bitcoin earlier today, was actually a little bit smaller. So it looks like buyers are coming in. But again, we still have the whole weekend of trading. And then, Sunday night, Monday morning, and then we'll see what happens when the market is open. But as far as how it's moving right now, Bitcoin, I wish it was moving with a little bit more of momentum, but we'll see. We still have a couple of more days of trading until we get back into Monday trading. Anyways, break that 200 SMA, we go up to the 67 level, in my opinion, but you need volume, and you don't get that, I don't think you're gonna move out of this volume shelf. That being said, let's move on to the next name, and I want to mention one more time CrowdStrike. And one of the things that I told you right on this area right here was that this was going to move if it breaks this trend line. So we were back on September 30th, and look where we are. We are basically starting to fill this gap. Let me change it. And I think we will. There is low liquidity, which is what I told you. Was it yesterday that I said that, or the day before? I didn't do a video yesterday. Yeah, the day before on the 10th. Excuse me. I told you that we were gonna, start breaking, especially if we went over the 200 SMA, that we were gonna start going into this price gap right here. And I do believe that there's still more room, considering that we have low liquidity here. MACD, TSI are not extended. We might get a little red or whatnot, maybe a retest of the 200 SMA and then continue going up. The RSI is a little bit overbought. It's right on it, but I wouldn't be too worried. I do believe that long term, or maybe even short term, we're definitely going to cover and move towards 400. One of the things that I said, though, was that the contracts were a little bit expensive, and if you didn't mind the price of the contracts, this was a great opportunity. So if you were one of those people who took this opportunity, that is amazing, because this move was very nice, especially if contracts are a little bit high. Anyways, let's move on to, I don't think I ever mentioned this name, if I could find it, and that is ELF. Am I an ELF? No. Yeah, let's do ELF. And this name has been kind of like Celsius. Look at this. You had this double top, and then you just went down, straight down. You went down the 35 SMA. First off, that was your first sign, other than breaking levels on going under this, or not being able to break resistance, and then you went under the 35 SMA, and now you're under the 200 SMA. You went under the 325 SMA, and that was it. So I don't think it's showing any signs of recovery yet, but I do believe, just like Celsius, that once this starts getting momentum, we might see a nice opportunity here to the upside. This is a name that I would keep in mind. I am keeping it in mind, definitely, now that I'm mentioning it, but I wouldn't enter until we break 120. So it is fantastic that you're breaking this resistance level at 107, but at the end of the day, you want to see momentum going towards 120 and then breaking that. When you break 120, you're also going to be mounting the 35 SMA, and then you're going to be on your way into this area that has low liquidity. MACD and TSI are looking okay. The MACD is reacting faster or before the TSI, which is telling you that the stock is just starting to take a little bit of momentum to the upside. The TSI is giving you the strength of the stock, so it's not moving in this case at the same speed as the MACD. The RSI is trending a little bit up, but again, I would love to see a nice move towards 120 and then break 120, and then I think more eyes are gonna come into this name. So keep ELF, be patient, and keep ELF on your radar. Now let's do HIMS, and again, I've been mentioning HIMS for a while, and it's looking pretty strong, if you ask me. Last time I mentioned HIMS, which was probably on my last video. Let me take a look at my notes. It was, so I said, and we were, or on one of those videos, that we were gonna fill this gap that we had right here after this drop, and then we were probably gonna bounce back towards 18.7. That happened exactly the way I said it is going to happen. What I like about HIMS is the fact that is not moving parabolic. That's one thing that I like, and the other one is the fact that it's coming back from sell-offs. You had this move pre-market that came into the first hour or 30 minutes of trading, or the first hour of trading, and then you just came back straight up, which is fantastic. And now you're sitting right on 18.7. So I do think that we're still on target for 21.17. I did buy some calls. They expire on January 17th, but I do believe my price target is 21.77, and this might actually come faster than we think. Volume right here is not too high, it's not too low, so this might have a steady move up, which is the type of move that I prefer, so I don't get spooked and sell when a little bit of weakness come in. Anyways, HIMS still looking very strong. MACD and TSI at this point, they are neutral, which is also good because that might give you a nice setup for the next move. And RSI is also pointing up, but it's not overbought or anything like that. So HIMS is looking fantastic, it's still looking good. Let's move on to, since I mentioned Bitcoin, let's do Mara this time, and it's coiling in this area right here. You have this triangle pattern. Now, one of the things is, and most of the times these patterns tend to be, in my opinion, a 50-50 kind of situation. And if you add to that the fact that Mara is very sensitive to Bitcoin's moves, sometimes it's really hard to read the next move for Mara. Here you can see that you had a triangle formation as well. You can argue that. And then you went up when it broke, and then immediately went down, and then you went up again, and then you immediately went down. But this is very common in Mara. Mara does that. It's been doing that forever. If you were trading Mara probably in 2020, 2021, you're very used to this. And right here, you have it on the beginning of 2024, end of 2023, and then throughout the year, it's been pretty choppy, volatile, crazy. But with that volatility, obviously, is what brings this type of moves. Now, I do believe that if Bitcoin moves over the 200 SMA, as I mentioned, and start going towards, what was it, 57? I'm not sure. Let's go to Bitcoin real quick. If Bitcoin actually moves towards 64,000 with momentum, I think that Mara is gonna definitely move, considering the fact that Mara has been coiling in this area right here for a minute already. You're right above the 35 SMA. MACD and TSI are basically neutral and they're flat. That's a good thing. RSI is neutral as well. So breaking this area is just gonna take you with definitely a lot of momentum. We'll see what happens. We'll see how Bitcoin looks on Monday before the bell or throughout the day on Monday. And if there is a reaction, I think that Mara is definitely going to move. On Friday, Mara was up 5.5%, 5.6% basically. So that's interesting. Keep Mara, especially if you're going to day trade, it could actually move very nicely. Anyways, that's what I have for Mara. My resistance and support levels are these trend lines for now. Just for now. And now let's do another name that I've been mentioning often, and that is MU. So look at this move. I think I did mention MU on. Let me take a look. Now I want to know. MU, where are you? I don't know if I can find it. I do have so many notes. I just want to make sure that this information is precise. Okay, so I mentioned MU on the 4th, which was here, right on this red candle. Let's zoom in so you can see it better. On this candle right here. And what I was saying was that we had to break over the 200 SMA to continue moving. You know, I basically that what you're seeing here on this chart. Well, we are moving towards this area. We're on the 200 SMA, which is right here. I think if we break this level, 106, 107, we are definitely gonna move with momentum towards 130. I don't have nothing specific here as far as levels in this area. So, you know, volume is not good or bad. volume in this area is especially right here. You don't have a volume shelf that is too worrisome or anything like that, and then you can just move towards 130. MACD and TSI are not extended, and the RSI is looking good. So I do believe that there is definitely an opportunity. I don't know what the price of contracts are, but I wouldn't be too worried about the price in this case. I did buy some calls for MU right before earnings, and they weren't expensive at all. So I think I'm gonna get back in on Monday or Tuesday, depending on how is the reaction, especially on Monday throughout the day, over the 200 SMA and this resistance level right here at 107. So MU is looking great. Let's move on to another name that I mentioned, I think last week, and I think it was on Wednesday of last week, and that is SOFI. It is actually looking really good. One of the things that I told you, and now I want to know if it was on Wednesday, and it was on the 9th. So on October 9th is when I mentioned that, so which was in this candle right here. And what I was telling you was, well, first off, the good thing is, and you already broke this trend line, so you had momentum definitely, and then on this area was saying your resistance level is 875. You break that and you're just gonna move towards 921. Well, that exactly happened on Friday. It was up 4.4% for the day, and you didn't get to 921, but this move looks pretty aggressive in my opinion. Now, a little problem that I have is, and you're a little bit extended on the MACD and the TSI, and the RSI is already overbought. So don't be surprised and you retest this level, which would be fantastic. You retest 875, and then you can move towards 921 and higher. So it would be great to actually see a retest of this area, 875, and then continue going towards 921. So yeah, check on that video. I think it was on the 9th, as I mentioned. And the last one for this video, of course, had to be Tesla. And I have quite a few things to say about Tesla. First off, the event, well, it was down almost 9%, 8.8%. MACD and TSI are looking really bad. I think this is going to continue going down. And one of the things that I told you is, and this event was a 200 or a 300 event. It sounded a little bit dramatic. What I was listening to myself saying it, I thought it was also pretty dramatic. But at the same time, I was thinking about what happened in September when the event, I think it was September 6th, when the event was canceled and moved towards October 10th. And the market didn't like that. And, you know, this is one thing. I mean, they canceled the event. And then you think, you know, on October 10th, now you're going to have something even more impressive because, you know, now they got an extra month to plan or to do whatever. And you also have, was it in September or it was on, I don't know, it was, or maybe in July, I don't know. Anyways. But the thing is that, you know, the event wasn't impressive considering all the time that they had, considering everything, all the buzz and everything that everybody was talking about. The event wasn't impressive. Elon Musk spoke for about 15 minutes. He didn't really sell the product. People were asking, people in the crowd were asking questions. So I think it was ill prepared, in my opinion. You know, it was I just don't get it. But anyways, I think this is well deserved, almost 9%, and I do have shares of Tesla, and I want Tesla to go as high as possible. But after seeing an event that really doesn't give you any type of benchmark, any precise date on launching a product, or anything that really tells you, okay, well, this is what is going to bring more profits or revenue to the company, then, you know, don't be surprised on the market is not going to like it. You know, if an individual like myself and probably like you didn't like the event because there was nothing really out of the ordinary on the event. Yeah, there was like the bus or the van or whatever, and there was a robot taxi, but we already knew that. You know, we knew about the robots, and we knew all of that, you know. So really, what is it? You know, we wanna. I was expecting a little bit more of news or information about how are you gonna, when is this gonna be launched, and how are you gonna monetize things, instead of like just some BS going on. Anyways, I think we're going to 200, and we're probably gonna bounce on that area. Let's put a rectangle here, because as you know, I like to do that on price gaps. And I think that, you know, we're probably gonna fill that gap. I wouldn't be surprised, just like we filled this gap right here, right? It took some time, but I think your next level is 200. I hate to be right in this case, because again, I said this is gonna be a 200 to 300. It's not gonna be there's not gonna it's gonna be a black and white situation, and this is exactly what happened. And I think there's still more momentum to the downside. That's just me for now. Another bad thing that I see, besides the MACD and the TSI, the RSI, is now you're under the 325 SMA. Not a good sign. I don't know. Okay, well, that's what I have for Tesla. Sorry, I'm just looking at the 200 SMAs under the 325 SMA. Anyways, that's what I have. Thank you. Bye bye.